Hey, superhumans, I'm Sally, and this is Miracles of Consciousness Radio. The audio file you are about to hear came from the Near Death Experience Research Foundation. I'll leave a link in the description box below so you can read through it yourself. The reason I wanted to share this is because many of my clients are telling me the same thing. They're having these big, huge spiritual experiences. And this really caught my attention because it does resonate with so many of you out there that are going through this transformation in your own personal life. I hope that you enjoy the short audio. Please give it a like and thumbs up if you do. And for now, without any further ado, I would also ask that if you are somebody who's had a personal experience of a spiritual awakening or a near-death experience, please reach out to me at sallyknop.com. And if you would like to share that, also state that in your email to me, and we will get you set up. For now, let's get started. My spiritual experiences happened when I was in my late 20s or early 30s going to college. In the sociology of religion class, I learned how much of the Bible was influenced by the Jewish culture. I reasoned that if God wrote the Bible like I had been told, God would not have been limited or confined by human-made culture. My conclusion was that God did not write the Bible, humans did. The insight changed everything for me. It meant that I was no longer a Christian. At first, the difference was very dramatic in my life. To me, it felt like I had been used to living in a forest with many trees for protection, and now I was out in the open field without my protection. I suspect this sudden, huge change of being open-minded to whatever spiritual world there was allowed what came next. Sometime later, I had my first spiritual experience. I was driving down the road in Alaska with my young daughter, was with me. All of a sudden, in my brain, I heard, "The truck behind you will not be able to stop when it is time, but you will not be hurt." I looked in the rearview mirror and saw a big truck a good distance behind me. And since there were two lanes, I considered changing lanes. Since the information was so clear that we would not be hurt, I decided to test it. We traveled a mile or two before the stoplight turned red. I watched the truck behind me. It came right up to my bumper. The driver jumped out and opened his hood. The failure to stop scared. Later, I had my second and big spiritual experience. I was going to counseling and had been doing so for many years. My counselor often assigned me homework. This was self-hypnosis in the form of visualization work. Normally, it was boring. As I was running the water for a bath, I got the urge to self-hypnotize, which was the first time that ever happened. I swept the thought away because I didn't want to do it. But then the thought came back, much bigger and stronger. It was persistent and insistent. My attempts to get rid of the strange urge didn't work. So after getting into the bathtub, I thought to myself that I would do this really fast to get the urge to disappear. I went through the normal steps to self-hypnotize. This time, there was a strong force involved. Immediately, I left my body and found my consciousness in a new spiritual dimension. I didn't have a body, but I was me with the same knowledge, memories, thoughts, feelings, stupidity, and etc. I was aware of many thousands of other beings. I had zero feelings of fear, concern, or alarm. I could hear them speak telepathically. I just thought, and then they heard and responded to me. We were all one. I heard their thoughts and they heard mine. I was told everything that ever was, will be, is here. I was in a place where all knowledge existed. If I wanted to know anything, it was here that I knew. All people in the past and the future were here. Time did not exist because it was all in one place. I asked several questions, like, should I date this person? They replied, we don't care. I asked, what if he is married? Again, they replied, we don't care. I thought how non-judgmental the spirit world was. My will was mine. There was a very large presence that was love. It was so big, strong, and it was everywhere. It was like sunshine from the sun, in that it could be felt and absorbed and permeated everything. At that point, I could not think nor feel because love was that big. Love dominated everything. Yet, all knowledge, all time, and all being one were still not everything to this experience. The feeling of love was so strong. It was the energy force that everything ran on. Every inch of millions of galaxies was full of the power of love. It was extreme and too much for me, but I wanted nothing other than to continue this experience and feel the love. I believe I was in the spiritual world for hours because when I returned, the bath water was very cold. But I only remember asking one more dumb question before leaving. Is there a God? The response was a chorus of happy laughter, and then I was returned to my body. I did not want to come back on earth. I wanted to stay in the love. Nothing on earth compared to the wonderfulness and the intensity of the love I experienced in the spiritual world. Now I know that God is love. Love is everything. Love is God. God is love. My spiritual experience was all positive until I came back to earth. I didn't know how to communicate that experience. It was too big, too powerful, and too much for me to share with others. I knew everyone would think I was nuts. I even thought that I might be crazy. So I hid my story from most everyone, including myself. I stopped hypnotizing altogether, and I forgot about the event until I came across a near-death experience videos on YouTube many years later. And then I got to thinking, I'm not nuts. I had this spiritual experience, and now I'm finding joy and happiness in the wonderful gift God gave me.